Hi everybody, this is George Foshin, Call Realty Best Palos Verdes Homes, and today what we're going to go over is how complicated it's not really. Trust me, it's easy. How complicated calculating Proposition 19 is. So what is Proposition 19? This was the new law that was passed in which certain individuals in the state of California are able to transfer their property taxes from the sale of their primary residence to another property. Now, it used to be that you had to buy another property in the same county in which your primary residence was. There were exceptions to that. Some counties external to where you live would allow the transfer, other counties wouldn't, and they could change year by year. Now, no matter what county you move to, stay in the same county, move to a different county, you can transfer your property taxes. And you could only do this one time in the old way. Now you can do it multiple times. And in the old way, you had to buy at equal value or less. Now you could buy at any value. So there are some benefits. There are some bad things about Proposition 19 too, but I won't get into it in this video other than to say if you were planning on having your children buy your property, there are now severe restrictions on that. You'll have to learn more about that on a different, either I'll do a different video or you just go to the Proposition 19 site and just learn more about that. Today's video is only about how do you calculate what your new property taxes are going to be, because there's a kind of a weird calculation and it actually is very easy. Look, just go to the Los Angeles County Assessor site, copy down this website that you see up here. In fact, I'll link to it in the description section underneath the video here. And let's do that. Let's run through some examples, okay? All right, let's close out of that. Let's get to Proposition 19 calculator. And what you're going to do, don't use this one over here. This is if you're going to have your child or grandchild buy your property. This is if you're selling and you're moving to another property. What will be your new property taxes? So let's start. Let's calculate new base year for replacement residence. And what you're going to have to know, first of all, is what your assessor ID is, or you can type in an address. I'm going to type in the assessor ID of a listing I'm going to be putting on the market shortly, to use that as an example. And we're going to type in here fair market value of the original principal residence. Now I'm going to put in a number here. I'm going to show you how you can calculate this in a little bit, but stand by a second. I'm going to put down $3 million. And in our first example, we're going to go through two examples: buying a property less than what you're selling and buying a property worth more than what you're selling. And in this example, let's assume the client is going to be they're selling their $3 million house and they're going to be getting another house for $1.7 million. And you just simply click calculate, and we'll wait a second. And in this case, the new base year value for the replacement residence is going to be $2,002,973. And what we're going to do is multiply that by 0.0125. Now, Proposition 13 is 1%, but every city and county has additional taxes on top of that 1%. So we're going to be conservative and use 1.25%, 2973, enter, 0.0125 times. The new property taxes are going to be $25,000 for this particular person. So that's how that is going to work. Now let's go back And let's do the same example if they were to buy, let me make a note of that number so see how it compares. 25037. And I'm going to run through another example too. Let's type in the same tax ID number, 2012, fair market value, 3 million. And let's say they go out and buy a $4 million property. So let's figure that one out. And if they bought a $4 million property, you can see the calculations here are a little different, aren't they? So their new property, they're going to have a tax savings here. They're going to be paying, instead of paying property taxes on a $4 million home, they're going to be actually be paying taxes on this amount here. So 3002973, enter 0.0125 times. They're going to be paying property taxes of $37,537. Well, that's better than what they would have paid on a $4 million house, which would have been $50,000 in property taxes. So, big difference there. So how do you, let's go back here, and let's do another example for a property that was bought long time ago. 66, I'll show you how, if you don't know your assessor ID number, how do you do it if you just have an address? Lautrec Place, this is another property I'm going to be bringing on the market. Automatically puts in the assessor number. The value, let's put in at 2 million. That's what I'm going to be selling it for, or a little bit more actually, but let's just use 2 million. Did I do the right number of zeros? Nope, too many zeros. And let's say this person moves from Palos Verdes and buys a little house in Palm Desert for let's say 900,000. What's going to happen? Well, let's figure it out. Okay, so their new base year, because they bought this property so many years ago, their property taxes are super low already. They're going to be able to bring over the entire property tax base that they're paying now, based on $226,827. Okay, now let's pretend this same seller, 6622 Lautrec Place, $2 million here, and let's say they buy a grandiose property in the desert worth $3 million. What's going to be their property taxes? Well, instead of paying property taxes on $3 million, they're going to actually be paying property taxes on this calculation here. They're going to be paying property taxes on $1,222,000. So that's a significant difference, isn't it? That's a massive savings. And how great is that? That's one of the benefits of Prop 19. Before Prop 19, you wouldn't have been able to carry your property taxes with you at all. Now you can. You'll pay more. You're going to pay more in property taxes than what you were at the house that you sold, but nowhere near what you would have if you bought that $3 million pre-Prop 19. All right, so how do you figure out what your fair market value is? It's really easy. Just go to palosverdeshomesbest.com. If you want, sign up for my newsletter. And just go to sell and then home valuation and just fill in your address right here. It's that simple. You'll be asked to put in your email address and cell phone number, but your information stays private to me. It doesn't get sold or distributed to anybody at any time. Okay, that's it. If you have any questions about this, just use the schedule time with me powered by Calendly blue tab down here, And thank you very much for watching. I sure appreciate it. Bye for now.